Why does EFCC struggle to convict politicians, but find it easy to convict Yahoo boys? Curtis Adigba asked this question. Exactly, because if you look at Nigeria, the EFCC, all the law enforcement agents, goes after small crimes. The big crimes committed by the big politicians and the who is who in the society goes unpunished, and that is why it is a case of highest bidder in the judiciary. He who has the money and authority gets the justice. The other small man who does not have anybody or anything will be convicted. And this is a very big question, because the true Yahoo boys in this country are actually the politicians. That is the truth. People that are stealing with pen, stealing by budget padding, stealing by tricks, stealing and defending it, and stealing by putting what they want into policy and use it to cover themselves, which is the real Yahoo people, not all the small Yahoo boys. Let's dive into the details. In a recent interview on News Central Television, Curtis Adigba, a prominent public affairs analyst, shared his insight on the challenges encountered by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) when pursuing convictions against politicians accused of corruption in Nigeria. Adigba shed light on the intricacies of the judicial landscape and the hurdles that often impede the straightforward prosecution of high-profile political figures. Adigba emphasized that the EFCC encounters greater difficulty in securing convictions against top politicians compared to individuals involved in cyber fraud. He pointed out that one of the major obstacles in prosecuting politicians stems from their ability to leverage financial resources to influence the legal process. That's one. And according to Adigba, politicians facing corruption charges can exploit the system by potentially bribing judges through their legal representations or engaging the services of the most skilled and well-connected lawyers in the country. In his own words, as seen on News Central Television, when it concerns top political leaders, it becomes very complicated. Now, the same EFCC that has been accused of doing underwhelming jobs, when it comes to political gladiators, the same organization has got over 90% success rate in convicting Yahoo boys for fraud. Why do they struggle to convict politicians? Why do they find it easy to convict other fraud cases, but their record is so poor against political actors or gladiators? It is simply because the body has currently constituted answers to some political godfathers in their system. That is one. The second one is that when it comes to do with these politicians, they have a lot of money and a lot of political connections at their disposal. Some of them can go ahead to bribe judges through their lawyers, or they can hire the finest or the best talented lawyers in the country. They also have a critical mass of our people behind them. Exactly. So it is very clear that when EFCC gets involved with cases, political cases, those politicians actually have the political connection, both in government, and they have enough money to hire the best lawyer, and they can also use their lawyers to bribe the judiciary, and so that is the problem. And the judiciary has been so impoverished that under normal condition, a Supreme Court justice can retire without even having a house because of the poor condition of service. So when such justice or judge is seeing a bribe that is 100 times more than his retirement benefit, he will sell his mind and conscience and say, well, Namigo can't do bid Nigeria, I come here, can't look person. He will collect, and the next thing, he will pervert justice and then go to his house. That is how bad it is. And then in Nigeria, we've had a situation where the same Yahoo boys are in Lagos. The big Yahoo boys cannot be convicted. It's the small ones that can also be convicted. But the general case here is that why are we going after small boys and convict them easily? Meanwhile, people that are stealing billions and billions. Look at the case of Beta Edu. Look at the cases that Akpabio had with EFCC before becoming Senate president. Look at the cases people like Ojis Okalo had with EFCC before becoming a senator again. So why has EFCC not been able to drag these cases to conclusion and then convict these people? Because they are highly politically connected and they have all the security agencies and the judiciary in their pocket. And just like Beta Edu's case now, APC members have started going to beg Tinubu now to tamper justice with mercy. Meaning that at the end of the day, Beta Edu and whoever that is an accomplice with her will have soft landing. Okay. Meanwhile, a small Yahoo boy now will be arrested and will be put on the front page of newspaper, and the EFCC and security justice will use such person to have promotion. Does it make sense? Justice, and that is why they say the justice is blind. Justice is blind. Okay, it doesn't mean there's no favoritism, no compromise, no nepotism in the eyes of justice, because justice does not see. Justice works by the evidence before it. Unfortunately, Nigeria is compromised because now the big politicians get justice. Meanwhile, the small boys that are just on the street are the ones that are penalized for any form of crime. But let's get in. Some people are making a few comments here. Somebody said their deep pockets are responsible. They can buy everyone with their money. Imagine James Ibori arraigned based on 65 count charges, but was set free. Okay, was acquitted in all the charges, but immediately he stepped into UK. He pleaded guilty. Something definitely is wrong with us. And the same thing is happening with Desani Alice Madueke. The same thing is happening with Ekuremadu in the UK. Somebody here is saying it is because the woman statute standing in the court arena with a sword, skill and balance and blindfold has now been replaced with new gadgets. A phone on one hand, bag on the other hand, and spectacle glasses on the face in lieu of blindfold, so that she can see who is being prosecuted, make calls, and then go home with jute bags of legal tender, which is the money. So it is the big thieves hanging the small ones all the time. Simply because EFCC is a product of politicians, you cannot be bigger than your creator. And that is true. The politicians created the EFCC so they're using them to their own advantage, and that is true. EFCC lawyers and judges don't have the goodwill to prosecute politicians because they have embezzled so much, so to make even these lawyers, okay, to make these lawyers and the judges very rich. That is it. The answer is always right. It's always right there in every question. Yes, the answer is always right there in every question, because they are boys, in fact, male boys. So Yahoo boys are boys, while politicians are men. Okay, oh, you can understand what you mean there. So that is the situation, and I think there are more answers to this question, which is a very big question, but the justice need to be balanced and need to be fair across board for all. So thank you for listening. Let's have your comment and let's find out when will the justice be balanced between the small and the big in the society.